No one ever thought a billionaire would follow his own
Oh,
housekeeper.
bless you. We're
But that
managing.
morning,
Please, allow
something felt different. The billionaire stood near the big glass window of his mansion. He looked down at the city below, holding his coffee, but his mind was not calm. For many days, one thing had been bothering him. It was not business. It was not money. It was her, the black housekeeper. She had worked in his house for years. She was quiet, always polite, always on time. She cleaned the house perfectly and spoke very little. She never complained, never asked for help. But lately, the billionaire had noticed something strange. She looked tired, very tired. Her eyes were heavy. Her hands shook sometimes. She often came early in the morning and left quickly in the evening. She never smiled like before. And most of all, her two small children always waited outside the gate. They never played. They never laughed. They just waited silently. That silence scared him. One day, the billionaire asked her, "Are you okay?" She smiled, but it was not real. "Yes, sir," she said softly, but her eyes said something else. That morning, as she finished her work and walked out with her kids, the billionaire did something unexpected. He followed her. He did not tell his driver. He did not tell his staff. He followed her alone, from a distance. She walked fast, holding her children's hands. The kids looked thin. Their clothes were clean but old. Their shoes were broken. The billionaire's heart started to feel heavy. They left the rich area. They crossed busy roads. Then they entered streets the billionaire had never seen before. The buildings were broken. The walls were cracked. The air felt different, heavy and sad. The billionaire slowed his steps. "Why does she come here?" he whispered to himself. She stopped near Narrow Street. The billionaire hid behind a car. His heart was beating fast. He watched her carefully. She looked around. Then she knocked on an old metal door. The door opened slowly. The kids walked inside. The billionaire's hands started to shake. This was not her home. It was worse. From inside, he heard sounds. Soft crying. Low voices. Painful voices. The billionaire felt something twist inside his chest. "What is this place?" he thought. He wanted to leave, but he couldn't. Minutes felt like hours. Then he saw something that made his breath stop. The housekeeper came back out, but not alone. Behind her were more children. Poor children. Hungry children. Sick children. Some were younger than her kids. Some could barely walk. The billionaire felt cold. She spoke gently to them. She smiled at them. A real smile this time. She touched their heads with love. The kids trusted her. The billionaire felt his eyes burn. "Who is she really?" he whispered. Suddenly, one of her children hugged her tightly. "Mom," the child said softly. "Mom." That word hit him like a storm. This woman was not just a housekeeper. She was a mother. She was a protector. She was hiding something big. The billionaire took a step back. His chest felt tight. He had money, power, everything, but at that moment, he felt small. Very small. He realized something important. He did not know her at all. And whatever she was hiding, whatever she was doing here, it was bigger than him, bigger than money, bigger than status. Tears filled his eyes. "What are you sacrificing?" he asked silently. He turned away slowly, his heart broken, his mind confused. He did not know yet that what he would discover next would change his life forever. That night, the billionaire could not sleep. He lay on his soft bed, surrounded by silence, but his mind was loud. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the same picture again and again. The black housekeeper, those children, that broken building. Something about her did not make sense. The next morning, she arrived at work like always. Quiet, calm, respectful. She cleaned the floors, washed the dishes, and kept her head down. If someone looked at her, they would think she was just a normal worker. But the billionaire now knew one thing. She was not normal. He watched her closely that day. He noticed things he had never noticed before. She skipped breakfast. She drank only water. She saved leftover food and wrapped it carefully. Not for herself, for her kids. When lunchtime came, the billionaire saw her sitting alone in the small staff room. She held a phone in her hand, looking at old pictures. Her lips moved like she was praying. "Please be safe," she whispered. The billionaire felt a deep pain in his chest. Who was she praying for? He decided to learn more about her life. Not by asking, but by watching. After work, she left again with her kids. Same fast steps. Same tired face. The billionaire followed again, keeping distance. This time he noticed something new. People on the street knew her. An old woman waved at her. A small boy smiled at her. A sick man nodded with respect. She stopped many times. She spoke kindly. She touched hands. She listened. The billionaire felt confused. Why does everyone trust her? He thought. She reached the same poor area again. The same broken street. The same old door. But this time, the billionaire came closer. From a small window, he saw everything. Inside, the room was small and dark. The walls were old. The floor was cracked. But the people inside were alive with hope. She helped a young child breathe better. She cleaned wounds with care. She shared food equally. Her kids helped too. One child gave water. The other held hands. No fear. No anger. Only kindness. The billionaire felt his throat close. These children were not playing. They were serving. The woman spoke softly. Her voice was warm and strong at the same time. We share what we have, she said, even if it is little. The billionaire remembered his own life. Big houses, expensive food, money everywhere. But he had never seen this kind of richness. Suddenly, the woman sat down on the floor. She looked tired, very tired. Her hands shook. Her face was pale. Her daughter touched her arm. Mom, you didn't eat again, the girl said quietly. The woman smiled. I'm fine, she replied. But she was lying. The billionaire felt anger. Not at her, at the world. How long has she lived like this, he wondered. That evening, when she returned to work the next day, something unexpected happened. The billionaire called her name. She froze. Her heart started racing. She thought she was in trouble. She lowered her head. Yes, sir, she said softly. He looked at her. Not as a boss, not as a billionaire, but as a human. You work very hard, he said. Her eyes filled with tears. Thank you, sir, she whispered. He wanted to ask her everything, but he didn't. Not yet, because he knew something. She was carrying a secret built from pain, love, and sacrifice. And when that secret came out, nothing would ever be the same again. The billionaire told himself he would stop. He promised his mind that he would not follow her again. He was not her family. He was not part of her life. She was only his housekeeper. Only. But that word no longer felt true. That afternoon, when she finished her work and walked out of the gate with her 2 children, the billionaire stood still for a moment. His heart said one thing. His pride said another. His heart won. He followed again. This time, he did not hide far away. He walked slower, closer. He watched every step she took. Her shoulders were heavy. Her back was bent, not by age, but by responsibility. Her children stayed close to her. Too close. Children should run. They should laugh. But these children walked like adults. They reached a busy street. Cars passed fast. The noise was loud. The billionaire thought she would turn back. She didn't. She crossed the road and walked into an area the billionaire had always avoided. No big buildings. No lights. Only broken shops and tired faces. He felt out of place. People looked at him strangely. His clean clothes, his shoes, his watch, they did not belong there. But she did. She greeted people with a nod, with a smile, with respect. The billionaire noticed something painful. People here did not look at her with pity. They looked at her with trust. She stopped near a small street corner. This time, she did not go inside the old building right away. She sat down on the steps. Her kids sat beside her. She opened a small bag. Inside were pieces of bread. Only bread. She gave the bigger piece to her children. She took the smallest one for herself. The billionaire felt his chest burn. She watched her kids eat before taking a single bite. A man walked by, coughing badly. He stopped when he saw her. My chest hurts today, the man said weakly. She stood up quickly. Come, she said. Sit here. She gave him water. She placed her hand on his back. The billionaire felt his eyes fill with tears. She had nothing, yet she gave everything. The children followed her again as she walked to the old building. The billionaire followed too, closer than before. Inside, the room was full. More people than last time. A young mother holding a crying baby. An old man shaking from cold. 2 boys with dirty faces. No vits. No machinas. No medicine shelves. Only her. She moved fast, helping everyone. She cleaned wounds with cloth. She shared food. She listened. Her kids helped silently, like they had done this 1,000 times before. Suddenly, one of the children stumbled. He almost fell. The billionaire stepped forward without thinking. He caught the child. The room went silent. Everyone looked at him. The housekeeper turned around. Her eyes met his. Fear filled her face. "Sir," she whispered. The billionaire felt his heart stop. He had been discovered. The room felt small. The air felt heavy. Her hand shook. She pulled her child close. "I'm sorry," she said quickly. "I didn't mean to." He raised his hand gently. "No," he said softly. "You don't need to say sorry." She looked confused. Tears rolled down her face. "I didn't want you to know," she cried. He looked around the room. At the pain. At the hope. At the strength. "You should not be ashamed," he said. Her knees shook. She could not speak. The billionaire felt something break inside him. This woman had carried all this alone. And tomorrow, he would make a decision that would change both their lives forever. The room stayed silent. No one spoke. No one moved. The billionaire stood there, holding the small boy in his arms. The child looked at him with wide eyes, then slowly rested his head on the billionaire's chest. That moment changed everything. The housekeeper rushed forward and gently took her son back. Her hands were shaking. Tears rolled down her face, but she did not wipe them away. "I never wanted you to see this," she said in a broken voice. The billionaire looked at her, really looked at her, not as his worker, not as someone below him, but as a woman carrying the weight of many lives. "Why?" he asked softly. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" She took a deep breath. Her voice was low, but strong. "Because pain doesn't wait for permission," she said. "And poor people don't have time to explain." She looked around the room. "These people were already hurting before I came," she continued. "I only stayed." The billionaire felt his chest tighten. She walked slowly toward an old table in the corner. On it were small bottles, old bandages, and a notebook. "This is all we have," she said. He picked up the notebook. Inside were names, dates, small notes written with care. "Fever better today. Didn't eat. Need shoes. Pray for him." The billionaire's hands started to shake. "How long?" he asked quietly. She looked down. 5 years, she answered. 5 years. 5 years of working all day in his house. 5 years of coming here every evening. 5 years of feeding others before herself. "And your children?" he asked. She turned to them. "They grew up here," she said. "They learned kindness before comfort." Her daughter spoke softly. "Mom says helping is more important than having," the girl said. The billionaire felt tears fall from his eyes. He had not stopped them. He remembered his childhood. Private schools. Warm meals. People helping him. And here she was giving what she never had. Suddenly, she sat down. Her face went pale. The billionaire rushed forward. "Sit," he said, helping her. "I'm fine," she tried to say, but she wasn't. Her daughter held her hand tightly. "She doesn't eat," the girl said. "She gives her food away." That sentence crushed him. The billionaire felt anger rise inside him. Not at her, at a world that allowed this. At himself, for not seeing it sooner. "You should not carry this alone," he said firmly. She looked up, fear in her eyes. "I don't want charity," she said quickly. "I only want to help." He nodded. "I understand," he said, "and that is why I am here." She looked confused. "You followed me," she said. "Why?" He paused. "Because something in your silence was louder than words," he replied. The room felt warm now. Safe. The people inside watched quietly. Hope filled their tired eyes. The billionaire stood up. "I won't tell anyone today," he said. "But tomorrow we will talk." Her heart started racing. "Am I losing my job?" she asked softly. He shook his head. "No," he said. "You are about to change many lives." She did not understand yet, but she would. As he walked out, the sky was dark. The streetlights flickered. His expensive car waited for him, but he did not get in right away. He stood there, crying, because for the first time in his life, he understood the real meaning of wealth. And tomorrow, he would act on it. The billionaire did not sleep that night. He sat alone in his office, lights off, city glowing outside the window. His phone lay on the table, silent. His mind was loud. He kept seeing her face, her shaking hands, her children standing strong beside her. He opened his laptop, but not for work. He searched names. He searched places. He searched help. For the first time, money felt small. When morning came, he made calls. Not to his business partners. Not to his lawyers. To people who build, not destroy. Doctors. Teachers. Builders. He did not explain everything. He only said one thing. I need help today. By afternoon, his house felt different. Quiet. Heavy. Waiting. The housekeeper arrived for work like always. She lowered her head. She moved slowly. Her heart was not calm. She thought about the old building. The people waiting for her. The children who needed her. She did not know what the billionaire was planning, but she felt something was coming. After lunch, a message came for her. Sir wants to see you in his office. Her hands started to shake. She wiped them on her clothes and walked slowly. Every step felt heavy. She stood in front of him, head down. Yes, sir, she said softly. The billionaire looked at her for a long moment. Sit, he said. She sat carefully. I saw everything, he said calmly. Her heart dropped. She wanted to speak, but no words came. I am not angry, he continued. I am ashamed. She looked up, shocked. He stood up and walked to the window. All my life, he said, I thought wealth was about having more. He turned back to her. But yesterday, I saw someone with nothing, giving everything. Tears filled her eyes. I never asked for help, she whispered. I know, he replied. That's why this matters. He placed a folder on the table. Inside were papers, plans, names. This is not charity, he said firmly. This is respect. She opened the folder with shaking hands. A real care center, clean rooms, food supply, medical help, school support for children. Her breath stopped. This is too much, she said. He shook his head. No, he said. It is still not enough. She covered her mouth, crying. I don't want fame, she said. I only want the people safe. They will be, he said. And your children too. Her heart raced. My children, she asked. He nodded. New home, new school, a future where they don't have to be strong all the time. She stood up suddenly. I can't accept this, she cried. He looked at her gently. You already earned it, he said. She fell to her knees. Not because she was weak, but because she was tired. Tired of being strong alone. The billionaire knelt down too. Stand up, he said softly. You don't kneel to me. He helped her up. The room felt different now. Lighter. Outside, workers arrived. Builders. Helpers. Doctors. Change had already begun. That evening, the housekeeper walked home with her children. But something was different. Hope walked with them. She looked up at the sky. Thank you, she whispered. But this was not the end. The world would soon see what real kindness looks like. And the biggest miracle was yet to come. The next morning felt different. The sun rose slowly, soft and warm, like it knew something good was about to happen. The housekeeper woke up early as always. But this time, her heart was not heavy. Her children were smiling. Real smiles. She dressed them in their best clothes, even though they were still old. She fixed their hair and kissed their foreheads. Today is a good day, she whispered. They did not know why. At the mansion, the billionaire stood near the entrance. He was not wearing his expensive suit. He wore simple clothes. His face was calm. Cars began to arrive. Doctors stepped out. Teachers followed. Builders carried tools. Boxes of food were unloaded. The housekeeper froze when she saw them. Sir, what is happening? She asked softly. He smiled. Come with me, he said. She held her children's hands tightly and followed him into the car. The drive was quiet. Her mind was full of questions. They did not go to the mansion. They went to the poor area. Her heart started beating fast. When the car stopped, her breath caught. In front of her stood a clean, strong building. Fresh paint. Open windows. A sign on the wall. Hope Center. Her legs felt weak. What is this? She whispered. The billionaire stepped beside her. This is yours, he said. Her world stopped. She walked inside slowly. Clean beds. Medical tools. Warm food. Smiling faces. People she had helped before were there. But now they were safe. Treated. Smiling. Her hands covered her mouth. I don't understand, she cried. He looked at her gently. You showed me what real care looks like, he said. This is just support. Her children ran inside, laughing for the first time. Doctors greeted her with respect. We are here to help you, one said. Teachers knelt down to her kids' level. "You are going to school now." A teacher smiled. Tears fell freely from her eyes. She fell to her knees again, not in pain, but in relief. The billionaire helped her stand. "Look around," he said. "This happened because of you." She shook her head. "No," she said softly. "It happened because you listened." News cameras waited outside. People whispered. The billionaire raised his hand. "No speeches," he said. "Let her speak." She stepped forward slowly. Her voice shook. "I was just doing what my heart told me," she said. "I didn't want praise. I wanted people to live." The crowd went silent. One woman cried. One man clapped. Then everyone clapped. That night, the housekeeper and her children entered their new home. Clean rooms, warm beds, food on the table. Her children jumped on the bed, laughing. "Mom," her son said, "are we safe now?" She smiled through tears. "Yes," she whispered, "we are." But the biggest change was not the building. It was the billionaire. He watched from a distance. His life had changed too. He had learned something money could never teach. And tomorrow, the world would hear this story. The story did not stay quiet. It never does. By morning, people were talking. By afternoon, the news was everywhere. By night, the whole city knew about the billionaire and the black housekeeper. But this was not a story about money. It was a story about heart. The Hope Center opened its doors fully. People came from all directions. Old people, sick people, mothers with babies, children with tired eyes. And there she was, not wearing a uniform, not holding a mop, but standing tall. She welcomed everyone with the same gentle smile she always had. The billionaire watched her from a distance. He did not stand in front. He did not ask for praise. For the first time, he felt rich without owning anything. The housekeeper's children started school that week. New shoes, new books, clean clothes. But the most beautiful thing was their laughter. They laughed loudly. They ran freely. They dreamed openly. One day, the daughter came home and said, "Mom, I want to be a doctor." The mother cried, not because it was hard, but because it was possible. The Hope Center grew. Doctors worked with heart. Teachers taught with care. Volunteers came without being asked. The woman led everything with quiet strength. She listened. She worked. She loved. Someone once asked her, "Why did you never stop helping, even when you had nothing?" She answered softly, "Because someone once helped me when I had nothing." The billionaire changed too. He sold one of his luxury homes. He used the money to open more centers. He started listening more and speaking less. People noticed, but he did not care. One evening, he visited the old broken building where it all started. It was empty now, quiet. He stood there for a long time. "If I had not followed her," he whispered, "I would have never known." He understood something powerful. Real heroes do not wear suits. They wear tired faces and kind hearts. 1 year later, a celebration was held at the Hope Center. People shared stories. Lives saved. Children healed. Families reunited. The woman stood beside the billionaire. Still humble. Still gentle. Still strong. The billionaire looked at her and said, "You changed my life." She smiled. "No," she replied. "Life changed us both." The crowd clapped. But she raised her hand. "This is not the end," she said. "There are still people hurting." The room went silent. "Look around you," she continued. "If you have food, share it. If you have time, give it. If you have love, spread it." Her voice was calm, but it shook hearts. That night, as the sun set, the billionaire watched her walk away with her children. They held hands. They laughed. They were free. He felt tears in his eyes, because he finally understood something simple. Kindness does not need permission. Compassion does not need money. And miracles are made by ordinary people who refuse to look away. The story ended, but the message stayed. And now, a question remains for you. If you saw real kindness today, would you follow it?